When you have experiences and you're able to tie the results in those experiences, commonalities in those experiences to then where you want to move into, and I tell people this when they want to do career pivots all the time, you can then start mapping things out that are similar from your experience. If you're in a nonprofit, you need to raise funds. Then when you come into a startup environment where people are focused on the technology, the build, and they need that kind of support, you can play an instrumental role in helping, whether it's a startup or whether it's a VC, really get traction quickly.
Startups as well, in a lot of ways, are a relationship business. Having spent so many years in fundraising, media relations, and marketing, those are all very relationship driven. There's something to be said for VCs who have high EQ and can build effective relationships with founders and know how to support startup leaders and their fellow investors. So,
as your career was growing inside of the venture capital world, was it this experience that really helped round you out and fill in some of those other areas for you to make you the complete VC, if you would?
I think Kauffman Fellows was a big piece of that. But when I was nominated to Kauffman Fellows, I was leading Central Texas Angel Network. It was a top 10 to 15 most active angel group in the country at the time when I took over the reins. And during my tenure, the board and I took it to #1 in the country in terms of both deals funded and dollars invested.
You know, the level of work, the level of unknowns that you need to do to be placing small amounts of capital in many times over. It's really those repetitions that then get you into that mindset of how you can continue to grow in that profession.
One tends to think differently about one's investing and the thesis when you're writing a check from your own bank account versus writing a check that is from LPs who've invested in your fund. There's a bit of a different mindset with angel investing. A combination of learning from very experienced investors when I was running the LP community, the Angel Network, and Kauffman Fellows. And then when I stepped down from leading the Angel Network in 2019, I had a chance to join Portfolio as a fund manager. And I've been a partner in 2 funds at Portfolio. That helped me up-level my skill set as well. And Trish Costello is not just the founding CEO of Portfolio, but she was the founding CEO of Kauffman Fellows. And I've learned so much from her as well and from my fellow partners at Portfolio.
Once you got in and you really started to figure out where you could play in the VC world, the learning never stopped, the opportunities never stopped. I mean, it was the move to GPG was very recent.
It was time for me to go back to full-time work. I've been part-time fund manager and doing a lot of consulting over the last 4 years, including being executive in residence for Techstars Tulsa and being a partner with Lohas, which is an impact advisory firm. Having the opportunity to go put all of my energy into one role and working with just a stellar team at GPG Ventures. I'm very excited to be opening their Austin office. They're a firm that's based in Dallas with an office in Houston. So I believe that we're the first VC firm to have 3 offices in major Texas cities.
And what kind of investments will you be placing in that firm?
We are focused 75% on healthcare, about 25% on general tech, B2B SaaS, AI, ML, enterprise. On the healthcare side of things, we do just about everything but healthcare services. So we've invested in therapeutics, diagnostics, medical devices, consumer health, and health IT, health tech. With the medical school being here, as compared to Boston or San Diego or even Houston, we have a relatively nascent. There are a lot of exciting things happening here.
What is your thesis for your fund? Is it going to be a new fund you're opening, or you're in office supporting of some broader funds?
We operate different than a lot of other VC firms in that we don't have a fund out of which we primarily invest. We have a couple of opportunity funds which are for follow-on opportunities. But when we first go into a deal, we partners do due diligence together, make an investing decision together, and we all co-invest together, usually with our families. Then we share out that deal to our LP network. And before I joined, between the Houston and Dallas offices, that's a network of 650 unique LPs, high net worths, and family offices.
As a very active LP myself, what I really enjoy about that is direct investments can be much more intimate, number one. Number two, they can also be much more impactful. I also enjoy going into, I consider general VC funds more blind funds where you're putting the dollars forward, and then the GPs are essentially managing that. Where here I can actually have, if I have a healthcare thesis in my family, or if I have AI ML thesis that I really want to go invest heavily, making the direct investment gets me a lot closer to what I'm trying to accomplish in the building of my portfolio.